So, hi everyone. I formally welcome everyone to the special election Soapbox for the post of Institute Sports Secretary. And we have two amazing candidates, Chaitanya and Prapanjana and Chaitanya. And this is the commission that is going to conduct a third election in a row within a span of like 2 months. So we are proud of it as well. And before formally going into the soapbox, just a few general instructions. And first, we'll start with the round of presentation. Since Chaitanya came first, Chaitanya will go first. You are willing to go first, right? She will go first with the presentation, and then followed by Prapanjana. Then we'll have a round of cross questionings. And for the cross questioning, you will have 3 questions to ask and 2 follow-ups to ask. You can answer the questions in 2 minutes of time, and the follow-ups in 45 seconds. And once that is done, then we'll go to the easy round, and then spirits. And then finally, audience questioning. Since the questions were sent through G-form, Meenakshi will be asking the questions to you guys. And now I welcome Chaitanya to present.
I'll just have a check. Is there a lag? What's wrong?
This is the first page.
This is the first page. Hello everyone, I'm Chaitanya Mehrotra, contesting for the position of Institute Sports Secretary. My vision is pretty clear. Compete with the spirit and get the GC back. Conquer the battlefield and host an interity which is remembered for years to come. Okay. Cultivate a spirit which remains in IIT Madras for years to come, and each and every GSB member is part of the sporting sphere. To accomplish this, my initiatives are basketed into 4 segments. Insti in Motion, which is basically... Is it my phone? It feels... Okay. Insti in Motion, which is basically focused on GSB. We all know about the overcrowding issue happening in the gym. For that, we have 3 additional gyms coming up: Vatsa, Sitara, and Gymkhana 2nd floor. The access will be divided in such a way that the overcrowding issue is sorted. Wear the spirit. We all know how important our jerseys are for us. In a similar manner, we'll have merchandise for the GSB to wear our spirit for our flagship event Sports Fest, and specifically this year for the Inter-IT, since we are hosting it. Elevate. There's an issue with the slides here. Okay, so the third initiative is SOC rebranding and Elevate, which is not right here. I'll be restructuring SOC verticals, and every coordinator of SOC will be assigned to a particular sport as conveners, so that GSB activities are also monitored well. Okay. Fitness Friday, which is again not visible. So I'm so sorry. Fitness Friday. Sports doesn't always mean competitive sports. It can also mean normal fitness games like the maximum number of push-ups in a minute, skipping ropes, etc. So Fitness Friday is a bi-weekly challenge program aimed to imbibe the culture of fitness among all GSB members. Beginner Buddy program. Everyone in Insti wants to learn the sport at different stages of life. To make sure that everyone is catered to, we'll be having a buddy program just like Sathi Mentor mapping. An all-access day, where GSB gets the access to courts as well as the coaches without contingent practice. Moving on. My aim is definitely to get the GC back this year. Since it's our home ground, it deserves to be here. We'll be having an all-weather training arena on Sitara rooftop, which can be used for various sports like football, cricket, and hockey. Prep like champions, because we deserve to be the champions. So we'll be having enough exposure for the contingent to go out and play. And for that, we'll be having 15 days of relaxation every semester. Sports Chronicles, a magazine which embodies our rich culture through the chronicles of our captains, sockheads, other spearheads, as well as the senior players. Hall of Fame. Definitely the sweat, effort, and blood put in our laurels need to be shown, and hence a Hall of Fame will be set up in Sitara ground floor. One contingent, one spirit. We all know how important the bonding of contingent is to get the GC back. And hence, we'll be having monthly events in the form of traditional sports like tug of war, kho-kho, etc. to bond the contingent, specifically before going into 3 contingents. Talent track. This is an opportunity for every person in every year of their insti life to try for sports, and this will also help us improve sustainability of our contingent, since we'll be having database of all the years of people who are potential for next year's contingent as well. All in, all play. We all know the importance of PG and women and how underrepresented they are in our sports sphere. Hence, we start with PG Kickstart. Just as PG freshers come in, we'll be having a 2-day tournament for them along with Sathi immersion, so that right from the start they have the sporting culture within them and they also have bonding. She Fit, elevating women's fitness. A dedicated female trainer twice a week for both strengthening and aerobic exercises, so that women in fitness can continue the journey efficiently. Lights on, game strong. We all know till 8, almost every court is full of contingent. So we'll be having an extension of timings till almost 10 to 11 p.m. so that everyone gets a fair share of courts. Also, this will help the PG people access the court, since they are very busy with labs almost till dinner time. She Plays, dedicated girls clubs in sports like football, cricket, hockey, etc. For football, since we are having a team also. And very soon, I want that every sport, which is just for men right now, will have a team in inter-IT. For now, we'll be sending them to outside tournaments for exposure. And last but not the least, the breakthrough in the sports sphere. This year, we're hosting inter-IT, and it definitely needs a proper plan. So, the inter-IT master plan, to hold a committee which is separately working just for that aim, which will be divided into 7 verticals, and every person will be selected very, very keenly, so that the inter-IT is hosted in a manner which is remembered. The annual departmental league along the lines of interdepartmental league, in which teams will consist of UG, PG, faculty, staff, everyone, so that bonding is increased. This in turn will also help to solve the problem where professors are not very considerate about the sporting schedules. Reviving roots, powering futures. All our alums are well connected with us, but let's have them all together in one alum network and host an annual current team versus alum team matches, which will not only help to improve our contingent, but also act as a funding source to facilitate various sporting facilities. Sports synergy. All hostel sports secretaries have their own share of work, but many of them do not have the exact knowledge on how to work. So to ensure that everyone is working in sync, the knowledge transfer is happening properly, and to maintain an inventory of equipment so that all through the Insti we have uniform equipment availability, we have this initiative. Last but not the least, why me? I'm currently the Institute Women's representative, and we got the Women's GC back. I've served as Sharav and Swarnmukhi Sports Secretary, in which I've completed more than 80% of my manifesto points already. I've been part of Inter-IT contingent for 3 years now, being a finalist every year, and I've achieved various medals. For example, an Inter-IT medal in discus throw. I'm gold medalist at district level in javelin throw, and apart from that, I have various medals in Schroeter and Sports Fest. Last but not the least, with this experience, I stand here to give back to the sphere. This is Chaitanya Mehrotra, standing here to serve you as your Institute Sports Secretary. Thank you.
Thanks, Chaitanya. Now, Prabhanjana will do her presentation.
Good evening, everyone. I am Prabhanjana, a third year integrated master student from the Department of Humanities and Social Sciences Department. For the love of sports and the spirit of INSTI, I stand before you to present my candidature for the post of Institute Sports Secretary of IIT Madras. My visions for the sphere: ignite a champion's mindset in the contingent members, integrate sports into INSTI life for the GSB members, improve facilities and administrative efficiency, inspire future talents to rise and achieve. For the contingent members, my manifesto initiatives are aqua therapy, allocating exclusive 1-hour morning slots for, at the swimming pool, Legends League, inviting alumni to play matches in their respective sport, Champions Fuel, special mess for sports contingent for 50 days before the main camp with suitable diet. Insured, provide free extra insurance covering sports injuries for contingent members and GSB subject to a fee payment. Sports for All is for the GSB members. Sports Fest will be organized in a grand manner. Sports calendar, listing all the sporting events throughout the year with the tentative dates and circulated among the GSB with the academic calendar. Racquethlon, hosting an all-racket sports for a non-inter-IT contingent members during the odd semester. Mini Schreiter, an inter-hostel tournament with home or away format for cricket, football and volleyball within the hostel premises. Game plan. Inter-IT website. I am planning to build an all-in-one website in collaboration with the 23 IITs to document records and serve as a repository for all the results and schedules. SOC restructuring. Reintroducing conveners while merging the events and FR vertical and media ambience and design. Also introducing volunteers from the freshie batch who are non-vertical specific. Inter-IT organizing team. I will recruit an exclusive team from the GSB who are non-contingent students, non-contingent members to oversee the planning, organization and execution of the Inter-IT sports meet. Mind Gym. Organizing neuro-linguistic programming workshops by behavioral transformation coaches for contingent members. Muscle Up. Appointing full-time trainers for both men and women at the institute gym. In-house physio. Appointing a full-time sports physiotherapist to address nursing needs for GSB's sports requirements. Beyond Boundaries. Her Huddle. Organizing weekly women's sports meetup to promote women's participation in sports. PG Orientation. Hosting a special PG orientation during winter and summer immersions and to encourage and accommodate PG participation in the sphere. NSO Plus. Including new sports like Kho and handball to cater multiple sporting interests. The infrastructure I'm looking to build is the Turfs Up, installing synthetic turf at the Sitara rooftop for the hockey and football teams to serve as a training space during the raining days. Cricket pitch, establishing a cricket pitch opposite to the Mahanadi hostel so that the PG students have a space to play. Sports overtime. Opening Sitara and other INSTI courts for a longer duration and extending the times so that people can use it. I have been part of the Inter-IT contingent from my fresh year and I have secured a silver medal in the 4x400 meter relay. In the following year, I was also part of the sports organizing committee as a coordinator. And I was the vice captain of the women's athletics team. This year, I was a captain of the women's athletics team and led the contingent at IIT Indoor. And we finished the podium at the 3rd place. Once again, for the love of sports and the spirit of INSTI, I am Prabhanjana for the post of Institute Sports Secretary of IIT Madras. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhanjana. Now we'll move on with cross-questioning. Since Chaitanya came first, do you want to ask the first question or do you want Prabhanjana to ask the first question? You will ask the first question.
So, hello. In your mess point, you have mentioned that you will be having a mess for 50 days. So basically that is typically, roughly actually one mess cycle. So how will you get a mess hall for just 50 days? And also if you are talking about before the contingent will be selected, how will you make sure that you'll cater to the varying contingent during that time?
Okay, so the first question about where the mess hall will be. Right now, the mess is it's an optional thing for the students of the general student, for the students. So a lot of messes have vacancy, and the Kaveri mess right now is vacant. I met the hostel affairs secretary who has agreed that the Kaveri mess will be vacant, and that the sports can be accommodated at the Kaveri mess. And since it is for the 50 days, by the start of November, we decide the team, which is 1 month before the intra-IIT. So the team will be decided right when we get our sports mess.
So you're telling you'll be having this mess during the main camp itself. So we already have a main camp mess. What exactly are you adding new to it? And also, okay.
Hello. Since the mess that we right now have is just for 10 days, since we are starting earlier, it is not really adding on to the nutrition that we require. We need at least for people who are practicing day and night and physically exerting for the inter-IIT sports meet preparing. At least they need more than 10 days. So I am trying to do the minimum and add 50 days so that we will have a proper amount of nutrition.
Your first question.
Hello. Hello. You can hear?
Okay, then space.
Okay. This is regarding your Prep Champions point. There are 71 working days in next sem, of which we only have 46 to 50 days of worth of classes of a course. A student can take 13 days holiday to avoid getting a P grade. And if we get 15 days OD, also that leaves us with 18 to 20 days of worth of classes. Since we are going to classes less than 50% in a course, putting immense pressure on the student, how do you tackle the situation when some contingent member grades drop significantly, and how should we believe that the Dean of Academics would have given feasibility for an initiative which compromises students' academics?
I'll use this. So the Dean of Academics is equally concerned both about the sports and academics, and hence he has given feasibility for 15 days relaxation. And it's actually to improve the grade because we need exposure during odd semester, and everyone is managing their sports activities along with academics already. The only problem is that when they miss classes, they are able to cover up, but they don't get the attendance, due to which they might get P grade. So in order to reduce the chances, we are initiating this.
Your second question.
How is Mini Schroeter for just 3 sports helping in any way, and what is your timeline for the same?
So right now, we are conducting Schroeter in the event semester. In a particular team, there are almost 2 to 3 players from the intra-IIT contingent members taking up the spot. If you consider for all the sports like this, almost 20 to 30 spots are going for the intra-IIT contingent members who are already representing IIT Madras at a intra-IIT level. So if you give all the positions to the intra-IIT contingent members, where will the GSB people go and take part? Where will they get the opportunity to take part? So having a mini Schroeter happening during the odd semester, where all the intra-IIT contingent members are occupied with their practice within their institute fields, will make sure that the GSB also gets enough opportunities to be a part of the team. Also, the timeline will be before Sports Fest.
Your second question.
How will you manage the courts? Like, how will you get the courts out of the practice, first of all? And then, she has not answered why only 3 sports. That was my first question. Yeah. Like, how only 3 sports is helping?
I have also have another initiative called Racquethlon, which takes care of all the racket sports. And starting is a better way to have, instead of having everything and not able to complete it. You have mentioned in your feasibility report that you will upgrade the existing gym facilities in Vatsa. For your information, the gym in Vatsa is already being implemented by the administration. Why do you want to take credit for something which admin is doing already, and who do you take feasibility from, and what is the source of budget?
So I've taken I have taken feasibility from advisor that it's still not implemented. So implementation and planning of what all will be coming up will be the responsibility of the upcoming ISS. And apart from the open gym, I'm also planning to put in more equipments in the current shutter space that we have, so and increase the access of that gym.
And in continuation to the same point, Gymkhana second floor is currently being used as the office. And Sitara Sports Complex second floor is already used as Sports Science Lab, the SESA lab. Do you plan to install a gym in virtual reality? Who gave you permission? Because when I asked, they clearly gave a no.
So for the second floor, Gymkhana second floor, what they told is that currently the office will be shifted to the ground floor and that will be converted to yoga and meditation hall. So I took feasibility from Dean of Academics that apart from those hours, we can use it as a gym. And as far as SESA is concerned, 1/3 of the space they are using and rest of the space can be used for a gym. I have taken feasibility for that as well from Dean ACR. You have mentioned about her hurdle in which you will be having weekly meets in girls' hostels. First of all, I don't see any feasibility from any of the current women's representatives or ISS in this point. And what exactly do you wish to do? You have also mentioned about beginner sessions. Will you be having beginner sessions in each hostel?
My initiative, Her Huddle, tries to bring form a community rather than to have, like, beginner sessions have been conducted for a lot of years, and there are a lot of things that are happening around in the institute fields, but then there is nothing that starts like a community. When I talk to a lot of PG women, they say that they are shy and they don't really feel comfortable playing at the insti courts. So having something where they can rely on, like a community, and starting things at their hostels will make sure that they are ready to come and take part in it. I talked to the SOC heads and the ISS. Okay, this is with the respect to your one contingent, one spirit point. The sports and games which you mentioned for bonding, tug of war, kho-kho, 7 stones, are highly injury prone. You have been injured, I have been injured. Do you want the whole contingent to be injured in the name of bonding? Where's the budget? I don't see the budget for this point.
First of all, for sports like tug of war, kho-kho, etc., you don't need a very high budget. And as far as injury is concerned, I'm not putting something like a very contact-specific sports. Kho-kho is not an injury-prone sports, I feel. And even tug of war, what injury do you expect from it? If you think that everything can cause injury, then yes, of course, we have been injured. Every sport is injury-prone.
You don't have any points regarding injury management or recovery. Why did you not have any vision for the same, and how are you planning to tackle this?
This is not a follow-up, this is a separate question.
This is regarding the injury-prone things that you're...
So about the injury point, I know that you have mentioned it. It's already coming up. The plans are already laid down for it, and Gymkhana is already in contact with the vendors for the same. And hence I've not mentioned it as my new initiative.
Now we'll move on with the Executive Council. Yeah, you guys. Hi, guys. We'll start with you. Like, you can start asking questions.
Sure.
Is it audible? Is that okay?
Yeah, I am audible.
Yeah. You can ask.
Sure, 1 minute. So first of all, congratulations to both of you, Chaitanya and Prabhanjan. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Sure. So I'll start with the basic questions to understand like your basic fund days are clear. So just can you both tell me about the basic responsibilities, like the key responsibilities of an ISS?
Who wants to go first? Who wants to go first?
Taking care of all the sporting facilities, making sure that enough making sure that all the required equipments are purchased.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Yes.
To enhance all the sporting infrastructure, to lead the contingent at the IIT, to lead the IIT Madras contingent at the intra-IIT level, and to make sure all the sporting events that happens throughout the years smoothly.
You can answer.
I can answer. To lead the inter-ID contingent to victory, more or less. Apart from that, making sure that each and every GSB member is involved in sports and conducting all the events properly, and making sure that all the infrastructure is maintained and elevated at various timings so that both the GSB and contingent are benefited.
Okay. Hello. So my next question is for both of you. Hello. So you both are the part of the inter-IT contingent from the last 3 years, and you have been the part of the women's contingent for the last 3 years. So can you both
Can you
tell
repeat
me
the
about the
question?
women's contingent? Hello.
Can you repeat the question?
Okay, 1 minute. Ria, can you unmute it?
Yeah, we can hear you speak.
Ria, can you just unmute yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. So both are the part of the contingent from the last 3 years and part of the women's contingent as well. So can you share me the women's contingent rank standings from the last 3 years?
In 2024, we came first. In 2022, we came third. I was not the part of the contingent.
2023 we were first, 2024 we were first, 2022 we were fifth.
So I think you both are wrong. 2022 we were fourth, 23 first, and 24th first.
Next question.
Okay, no worries. So next my question is for both of you. So can you just can you describe me your tenure as a women's representative Chaitanya and head of ISS executive committee for Pran?
So as women's representative, I started with Swarnmukhi immersion session, wherein I also conducted a gymming immersion. After that, I had a role to play in the NSO orientation. Apart from that, I was working with the contingent during the whole odd semester, and we had a tracksuit distribution ceremony, which was again in a collaboration with Sockheads. Coming to even semester, I've had various initiatives to make sure that GSB has fair participation in sports. For example, beginner sessions in gymming, football, aquatics, etc. Celebrating the Women's GC win, and making sure that Women's Day is celebrated properly by screening a motivational movie. And currently, we are also organizing the Schroeder for throwball and Kho-Kho, which is also a responsibility of women's representative.
As an ISS executive head, I have taken part in amending the rule book and also making sure all the forming groups and making sure that every communication is being communicated to the respective hostel secretaries, hostel councils, and the SOC teams.
Okay, fine. Am I audible?
Yes. Yes.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Yes, you are audible.
Hello, Prabhanjana. My question is to you. So, Chaitanya has 2 years of experience as a hostel sports secretary and 1 year as a women's representative. Both roles have provided experience in event organizing, organization management. So, as well, this year you're organizing inter-IT. So, do you think this will be a challenge for you? Yes or no?
No, it would not be a challenge for me. I have been a part of the Spotlight as a coordinator, and I have conducted 2023 events throughout for the Sarang. And also I have done an intern which consists of hosting and marketing. I was involved in hosting the Institute Demo Day for the year 2024.
That's great. So, can you just list down 4 challenges you might face during hosting inter-IT?
Hostel? Logistics.
You can now, next question for Chaitanya. You can think about it. I will come back to you.
Like the inter-IT one is supposed to be.
Yeah, you can ask. You can ask.
Chaitanya? Okay. So, Chaitanya, you have been a hostel sports secretary, which is a significant PR, but being a captain requires a different skill set. You have to lead a sports team, understanding team dynamics, and addressing performance issue. So, still, do you think you can overcome these challenges?
I'll answer. Yes, I definitely think I can overcome these challenges because being a part of the team, I understand my team dynamics pretty well. And as a women's representative, I've worked with all the captains, so I know that what all issues all the captains face. So I think I have a much broader idea of how things work, and it's actually more advantageous for me.
The problems that might be.
Is this to Chaitanya? Yeah, Chaitanya. List 4 challenges. List 4 challenges.
For inter-IT hosting?
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, what we always face is the rules and regulations, like the conflicts that happen. The accommodation will be a major problem for us during the aquatics plus football meet. Apart from that, mess we have to sort out because a lot of times the mess complaints come. And major challenges for us would be in transportation as well because we have various problems with respect to where our buses and all can go. I think those are the 4 challenges I've mentioned.
Logistics and traveling for the contingent members among inside the institute during rain would be a problem, and having volunteers because it happens during the vacation, having volunteers, and we need many manpower, so having manpower will be a problem. Since our institute is a very old one, and having good hospitality and accommodation might also be a challenge. It is also a challenge during aquatics meet. It would be during the semester, so that is also one that should be taken care of.
Okay, so you both have a fair understanding of what all the challenges we might face. So my next question for both of you: how do you plan to overcome these challenges?
I'll talk about it. So as you mentioned about accommodation problem, so I discussed this with Dean of Students, and we had decided that especially for girls hostels, we'll be putting the double rooms to triple rooms and triple rooms to quadruple rooms as room allocation itself, so that the accommodation problem doesn't occur. In case there's an issue, we still have some budgeting, which the DOST has done already, that we can accommodate them outside. For transporting, we know that we can't get the buses to the arenas. 2 things which we can do is, first, we can put cycles on rent. We do have a lot of old cycles and people will be ready to do it. Other than that, we can also have e-carts going to the courts where the buses can't reach. Third, for the rules and regulations, as we mentioned, I'll make sure that the transparency is maintained during the board meeting itself so that no conflict occurs later on. And as far as the manpower is concerned, I already talked that we'll be having a committee which will be separately trained and will be working for it throughout the year.
For the manpower, I will have the team selected well before and well ahead. For logistics, I will make sure that we will have e-cards For hospitality and accommodation, I'll make sure that we have good hostels that is being allocated for them.
Okay.
Next question.
So my next question is also again to both of you. Just hello.
Yes, you're audible. Yes, you're audible.
Am I audible? Hello. Okay. I think there's some network issue here. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So just provide me a detailed plan of actions for hosting the entire IT sports meet.
Anyone can go first. Who wants to go?
Meet.
Both for aquatics and mania.
You want a timeline?
Like, what is the plan of action, basically? Yeah. Should timeline be included in the question?
Yeah. Both timeline.
Okay. So just as my tenure starts, I'll be recruiting the committee, which will majorly consist of non-contingent people, but also a fair share of contingent people, to make sure that we have enough sports knowledge involved in this. After that, in summer, we'll be having all the budgeting done. One of the board meetings is obviously done, so that won't come under my under me now, which was done in 6th of March, 8th of March. Then we'll be having a board meeting in October, on August 10th or 11th of August in IIT Hyderabad, most probably, where all the rules will be fixed and all the pools will be drawn. After that, we'll be preparing for the logistics and all the accommodations and media, PR, everything for the aquatics meet during August. Following which, we'll be having an event, the Inter-IT in December. Many of the things will be outsourced, like mess will be outsourced, and then some of the media coverages will be outsourced, things like that.
For the inter-IT hosting, I'll choose the team well ahead and during the vacation, before the academic year starts. The board meeting will be also attended. After all the rules are confirmed, there will be registration, and after that, we'll make sure the inter-IT happens smoothly and the accommodation is happening. For the meet that is being conducted in the winter, December, I'll make sure that all the infrastructure is ready because some of them are under renovation. And I will also involve SOC conveners to have in my team, so that they have this enough sport knowledge.
He said intra-IT. He mentioned intra-IT and aquatics. What is the plan of action? Okay. Yeah, next question.
Okay. So hello. So next is like you guys already know that we are lagging behind as compared to other spheres. All the recruitment is started for the other spheres, and we are still election is going on for sports sphere. So how will we make sure that we will get in a good number of people for organizing inter-IT and for the SOC team?
Who wants to go first?
Since a lot of people were interested in taking up this position to serve the spear. They are all my friends. I truly believe that they are capable of being the inter-IIT hosting team heads. So I'll make sure they are also on my team, and we will all together make sure that the inter-IIT hosting is done well.
So talking about spheres, so yes, a lot of recruitment is done. So especially for SOC, there are a lot of people who are already interested, who are from the sports team. Talking about the Inter-IT hosting committee, I'm actually planning to take people who have been in Sarang, Shastra and all. So I think it's also a good opportunity that, the cohorts who would have been applying for course, almost 4 or 5 of them who are applying are all good enough. But sometimes just 2 of them get to be in because of several reasons. The other people can come in for us and help us out. I think it's the best time to make the committee. And definitely we have to fasten up our processes and learning which we have to give to the team. But it can be hosted properly.
Okay. So my next question is for Prabandhana regarding your website point. So you're planning to make a website for the inter-IT purpose, which will be a collaboration between all the other IITs. Then how are these actually collaborating? And who is going to make and run the website? Considering we aren't getting skilled enough people for our own organizing team.
For every inter-IIT that is being conducted since 2022, I have
IITs, because I can't see anything in the feasibility report.
Did you take feasibility from 23 IITs?
For all the inter-IITs that has been conducted from 2022, I've observed that every IIT makes one website and then maintains it until the meet is done, and then leaves it down. If you want to access any result or any record, you might not be able to find it because there is no proper documentation or a repository that is being maintained. So if IIT Madras champions this and creates a website pulling in all the getting feasibility from getting all the IITs on board, we'll make sure that the intra-IIT legacy is being maintained, since it is being 56 years that we have conducted, and we still don't have a website that has all the results, photos or records. So this will make sure it is more sustainable and is easy for people to go and find out results and photos and other schedules that are being hosted. For feasibility, I have talked to the IIT Bombay's Institute Sports Secretary who hosted last year, and they were very excited. They were happy to do it because it is they were very excited to have this because it was a very sustainable option. Instead of creating one and maintaining one and then again creating one and maintaining one, this website will be created only once, and will be maintained throughout, and the credentials will be passed on to the other IITs.
Okay, and from where the budget will come for making the website?
I am trying to propose this in the sports inter-IIT sports board, so that every IIT will be required to put in the money, since it is a collaborative effort.
Okay, fair enough. So my next question is regarding the turf. So I think you both have mentioned the same point. So can you please share your plan of action, including the timeline for when the turf will be ready and the source of the budget?
Is this question for both of them or is it for Prabandhana?
Yeah, this is for both.
Who wants to go first?
The turf will be at the rooftop Sitara complex. The budget will be from the institute budget. The timeline, I will propose it as soon as possible after I get elected.
The timeline which I've discussed with the advisor will be during this summer, just after I get elected. Yes, the budget will be coming from institute budget. That remains the same.
Is the budget is already proposed, or you're going to propose the budget?
Is the budget already proposed, or are you going to propose?
The advisor has already proposed the budget, but we are not sure whether it's the implementation is still in our hands.
The proposal is done and we're waiting for the confirmations.
Yeah, so thing is the proposal is already done. Still, why I can see the point in the manifesto, because this is the thing which already going to be done in the next few months.
I'll ensure and I'll make sure that this thing is being done.
Exactly, like a lot of budgets are passed and a lot of approvals are done, but it takes a lot of time. For example, WhatsApp floodlights have been passed since so long, but it's still not done. So Sitara, the budget has been approved, but the implementation and making sure it starts off is the responsibility of the upcoming ISS.
Okay. Now, Kaushik, you can go to the spare heads. I can come back later.
Okay. Other ECs we can ask by the time. Yeah.
Hi guys, good to see both of you here. I have a very general question from both of you. And I was just seeing your manifesto, and it seems you have a lot of good plans for the Institute Janta for the next year, and that's a good thing for the Institute. But I want to ask you about this, that I am sure that you might be knowing the current condition of the inter-hostel sports tournaments like Dean's Trophy, Schroeter, and even the Litsoc, where the participation of the hostels and students are drastically decreasing by year to year. So how will you ensure that currently we have a mechanism, a structure, framework where students, they compete against each other, that's diluting, and then when you will be there in your tenure, how will you make sure that your proposed ideas will be working and people will be coming in the pool to participate?
Who
From
wants to
both
go
of you.
first?
So for this, I have my initiative Sports Synergy, which is actually making sure that all the hostel sports secretaries work together collaboratively.
I would like to stop you here. I want from the analysis of the why people are not participating in these events, and then what you propose so that this will change, right? Did you guys get my question?
When I talked to a lot of people, they felt that a lot of spots that is happening, the teams in the Schroeter's Dean's trophies are taken by the inter-IT contingent members themselves. So they're not very interested to come and compete against the people who are professionally training for a whole semester. So this makes them feel more discouraged, and they're not very interested to take part in it. So that is why I am making sure.
No, but in case of the PG hostels, like tower hostels, where all the tower hostels are combining with each other and then competing as a single team. So there's the cases not happening like that, right? They have this space, but still the students are not participating. If I'm not wrong. I'm right, guys? No, I got the point, but what I'm saying that in PG hostels, specifically currently if you see in the tower hostels, where students are coming up with a single team. They are not competing with separate teams like Tamraparani, Sindhu. They are in these team events, they are coming together and they are like competing in a single team. So that's the pool of participation which is overlapping. There we have this space, but people are not coming by themselves to participate in it. That's happening a lot with the PG people. That's not the case only with the UG.
When it comes to PG people, some of the problems that I've noticed is that there is lack of infrastructure that caters to PG people, because the timings of the courts are very, it closes early, and a lot of, there is no hostel infrastructure, sporting infrastructure for the PG. And also there is a lack of information that is being passed on to the PG people, because a lot of PG people still get surprised that we have an inter-college tournament called Sports Fest, and they don't even right now know about Schroeter's or Dean's Trophy. So
Okay, good. How about the UG Janta? Are you satisfied with their participation?
The main problem that they face, that I feel, is that the contingent members taking the spots and they feel discouraged because of that.
I don't know, like, maybe you might be wrong, but what I feel from a point of view from my hostel, where the spaces were there, but still these students, they didn't consider to participate. So the case is different. We need to identify that more, in more detail. Okay, fine. Chaitanya, what do you have to speak about this? Then we'll come back to what you have to counter this part.
Okay. So you talked about like why people are not participating. PG thing, even I agree that they have this busy schedules and they don't have enough infrastructure. Talking about UG, I feel that PR is not enough. Like a lot of people don't even know about what selections are happening, things like that happen. And then I feel that right from the odd semester, a spirit has to start, that culture has to start. It's not like an even something, okay, today cricket is there, you just come and play. It should be like, okay, next sem we are going to participate, we are going to have a team. From this sem we will be we need to have a team, and the sports secretaries need to take that initiative right from the odd semester. That's what I feel will solve the condition.
Okay.
So a lot of intra-hostel groundwork needs to be done on this.
So you are agreeing with Prabhanjana's point, right? That about the PG's participation in it, and then, sorry. So you are agreeing with the Prabhanjana's point about the PG participation, and then this is your add-on that UG Janta, these are the cases, and that's how we should sort that up. Right. Now, let's talk about your initiatives. Why do you feel your initiatives are going to fill that gap and people are going to participate in it?
For PG people, I am trying to bring in a cricket pitch. That is a problem that is for the infrastructure, and I am also trying for the information that needs to be passed. I am trying to make a sports calendar with all the events listed with the tentative dates, so that both GSB can look forward to all the events that is going to happen, and SOC also has the pressure to conduct that event within the days and should not miss on the event. Plus, I am also trying to have extended timings for all the Insti courts. This will increase the people coming in to play and make it more convenient for them. And specifically for people who are feeling left out, that they're not a part of even in the hostel teams due to the intra-IT contingent members' participation. I am trying to have racquethlon just for racket sports at the Insti courts, and the mini Streuter that happens inside the hostel infrastructure. That is also done by GSB.
I have a beginner buddy program, making sure that beginners are ready for the competition right from the very start. Then I have an all-access day where once in a month, GSB will be going to the coach and contacting the coaches as well. So I think that will really build in that spirit of participating and being in this sphere for long. Apart from that, I have extension of timings similar to her. Then PG Kickstart, which is a 2-day tournament right in the start of PG immersion. So which makes that enthu come in of competing right from the fresher, so that sustains for years to come. And apart from that, for women specifically, we have a She Place where clubs for sports which are not there in inter-IT but still happen in Streuter will be there, so that they can come into those sports. And last but not the least, the sports synergy. For what I said, that knowledge transfer is not enough, things are not going in sync. So all the sports secretaries will be working together, and we'll be making sure that fairly the infrastructure as well as the events are distributed across hostels.
Great, that's great. Good to hear from both of you. One question from Chaitanya. You talked about this initiative of yours where you are creating one more space from all the clubs for the women around the campus, right? So just wanted to know about this, that already, if you know the problem, we have a big structure inside our student governance. And now itself, we are finding it difficult to fill people in it. For example, if you have seen the current elections, there were many positions which were vacant because people, they weren't interested to participate in it. And that's going to replicate or resonate in the core level positions or the super coordinator level positions. So the first question, do you feel that women around the campus, they are not treated well or equal as far as the current structure is concerned or the current system is concerned? Why you came up with this idea to promoting or making a parallel structure for the women around the sports in institute? And the second part, if you feel so, then how will you fill those positions with the people, that like-minded people who will be aligned with your goal to make this thing happen?
So these women's clubs are not like a very big club or something. It's just a playing team, just similar to the men's teams. For example, we have football, cricket, hockey, etc. teams for men, which also go to inter-IT. That's why they always participate in it. But for women, it only comes during Schroeder. So no one even knows about it, and like they're just blank, and in the event sem, they'll just come and participate in it. So these clubs will be fostered so that right from the beginning they'll be
But
trained.
clubs are to cater both of them, right? It's not only for the women, men or women. That is not, parted in that way, right?
Men's
For example, hockey club, it's there. So they don't, as far as their spirit is concerned, they don't only focus towards the men. They also focus towards the women.
So currently, the hockey club or the cricket club actually focuses more on men, and the coaching and all also happens only for men. And the major tournament that we go to is inter-IT, as we all know, and there are no tournaments where we are going for women.
See, for these specific teams which you mentioned, there is a reason for that. You know that reason.
We don't have enough teams.
We don't have enough participation. So
Yeah.
if we don't have the enough participation, of course, there is a constraint in the resource allocation, right? If we can use that resource to some other place, that's fine. And I think institute should go ahead with that if we don't have the participation for that. So there were two questions, right? Why do you feel that this structure should be there? And second, if this structure is there, if you are going ahead with that, how will you make sure that like-minded people are joining that?
Okay. So why the structure should be there? Yes. Because I feel these sports are equally good enough for women as well. And as you might be knowing, that we'll be having football also this year for women. Like football will be coming up. There's a 90% chance of being that. In the inter-IT. Okay. And slowly all these sports will also be improved, like gotten in the inter-IT. And various IITs are already having teams. So we also should start, right? Like whenever it starts, down the line, by almost 5 years or so, I'm very sure that all the men's sports will also have the women's team in it. That's why these clubs are required. And out of my experience of what I've seen.
Having a club and having a team, that is two different concepts, right? So I can have women team, I can have men team, but to organize or to felicitate the practice sessions or whatever is required inside the campus, I can have a single team and go ahead with that, right?
Yeah, so that's what the club is doing. I mean, it's
No, so that's what the club is doing. Why you want to make that as a change? Why you are proposing a change into it? That was my question.
I didn't get you. Basically, the change is getting the new women's team. So you're saying that why I'm getting the new women's team?
No. You said that you will propose a new structure in the team so that will felicitate the women's participation of the institute in the various sports, right?
Which is already there. Like, already teams and clubs do that, right?
Yeah, so from there we started.
Okay, no.
Yeah.
So I think
So if you want to clarify, you can clarify. That's
So the clarification is basically I'm adding these clubs, adding these women's clubs to the current. So for example, for athletics club, of course the athletics club comes under one bucket, but we have the men's and the women's team. So similarly, we'll be having practice sessions for women. So that's where the club is being added. That's all. We're not adding any other, position or anything in it. It's just a team you can consider, which we're adding for women.
You are adding just the team.
Yeah, exactly.
Fine, got it. So second part, maybe the structure, if you want to answer that. That how you will fit the people into it.
So definitely, because they are not played regularly, we'll be starting with the beginner sessions for all of these sports, and slowly we'll be building up a team which will be ready to participate. So till it is introduced in inter-IT, I have in place plans to make sure that they participate in tournaments outside IITM, not necessarily inter-IT, so that the club keeps on going and we do have a strong team enough.
Right, okay, thank you. You want to ask?
Now we'll move on to spirits. Who wants to go first? Just a small instruction. Keep your question precise. Yeah. Don't speak long stories. Okay. And third thing, let's go one by one. If follow-up or something is there, I'll let you know whether you can ask or not. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, first of all, congratulations to both of you. My question is to Chaitanya. During your tenure, you'll be in your final year and you'll have your placements and all. And given your track record of leaving your contingent, what will you do if the same situation arises again? Like, will you leave the contingent again?
Talking about leaving inter-IIT, if you know the situation well, I didn't leave it for any commitments. I was injured. I was not even able to participate in the March past. Still, I did participate in my event, which worsened the situation, and the doctor told me to leave and do proper MRI and all. So that was an injury. So if you were doing a personal attack on me, I would say that you were very, inconsiderate in not realizing that a sports person can also be injured. Second question about my final year. I was in the placement team, and at the same time I was part of summer camp during my intern season as well, and I know how to handle stuff properly if you are trying to get into my intern thing. And since I've worked so much for the sphere already, I know that getting a PPO is very important for me, and I will be working very hard to do that. And still, if I have placements, I have the team in place right from here, so that even if I'm slightly busy at that time, the team will be working well to host inter-IT.
If any of such questions arises again, I'll just simply throw you out. Yeah.
Hi, Chaitanya. My question is to you, can you explain your point of all access day? What I understood was all sporting facilities will be given to GSB. That I understood. Provided I'll assume it's hockey ground, football ground and cricket also. The thing is, hockey ground, the captains will not give it to us, to GSB generally, even to Frisbee team which we have, because they think the ground will be destroyed and all. Chemplast, even institute team is not getting the ground because it's under Sanmar. You don't have feasibility, it seems. Yes. Can you explain this point? Also, one more thing, you said it's a one-day thing. So, can you explain?
Talking about destroying the grounds, we'll be having proper rules in place, and that's why we also have the coaches on that day to make sure that nothing is destroyed. Chemplast doesn't come under us, so it's all the institute sporting facilities. So for cricket, we can give Sangam ground or even the Vatsa pitch for practice under the guidance of coaches.
Next question, Karthik.
Yeah. So congratulations to both of you. Great to see you both here. My question is regarding the...
Two?
Technically both of them.
Okay.
So I have this regarding the sports quota thing. So to Prabhanjana, the question is, when we were doing it that time, you were supporting the girl to come into athletics. But if you think about it from an overall scheme, the normalization factor of her contributing to the points versus contributing to volleyball, the points are, there's a huge gap. So what would your decision be as ISS? And Chaitanya, what were the steps you would take to ensure that what you pushed for would have happened?
What is this question? Is it related to any specific case that happened? Or?
Yeah, this is related to something that happens.
No, but this is related. This Soapbox is for their initiatives and questions over that. Can you ask over that, or we can?
This is regarding sports quota, which is important because we have sports quota coming up next year also, and advisor has to formalize some things.
I talked to her personally, and then it was a personal will to take up athletics. And as an athletics team captain, I did my job as to make sure that she remained in my team.
But that is as athletics team, as ISS.
As an ISS, I'll make sure that I will try to make her understand that we are all working towards the GC, and it is more important that she will try her best to contribute to the GCA.
So, as you know, that what I did was always have a neutral perspective on it, even though I was from the athletics team and I wanted her to be in athletics for the athletics championship. But definitely, she should have been in volleyball. So the steps which I would like to take from this year is that from the very start, I'll make sure that sports quota people go there itself. From the very start, when they approach the captain, for example, when they approach the athletics captain this year, say a volleyball girl again approaches the athletics captain, the captain should itself say that please do not come here. You are meant to be there. You should try to do that. In case there are two sports happening at the same place and you're very much interested in the other sport, you can participate in that as well. So I think I'll be building that captain's bonding and making sure that every captain is working for the GC and not just their particular sport.
Next question.
So my question is for Prabhanjana. You are planning to allocate 1 hour morning slots at the institute swimming pool for all inter-IIT athletes and probables. In the odd semester, considering that most of the pool is allocated to the aquatics contingent for their practice for the inter-IIT aquatics, which will happen in October. So, how will you ensure such a large contingent to accommodate the pool, and what will be the upper cap of athletes per session?
So I am proposing to have an extra slot, and these three we will have weekly thrice sessions, and the entire contingent will be divided into 3 parts, and these slots will come in the weekends. 2 slots will come in the weekends, and 1 slot according to the convenience of the contingent members. This will not affect the team's practice, aquatics team's practice.
Wait, next question. Anyone else?
Hello, I'm Anvesh, the PG Rep Sports. So my first question is from Prabhanjana. You are proposing a cricket pitch in front of Mahanadi. I'm also the Technical Affairs Secretary of Mahanadi. And my question is, what kind of pitch it is going to be? Is it going to be a cemented, concreted pitch or a normal mat pitch?
If you have one question, we'll stick to one question. Okay.
I would love to research on it to have whichever is the better one.
I have a scripted question.
I would love to research on it and understand whichever pitch is necessary for that space, and which will accommodate for that space.
Maybe one clarification. This year we went to CCW and the administration for a parking space for the cycles near those hostels. And the administration, they straight away they said no, because that's those spaces which are left over, and maybe if you are planning to build on those spaces that are meant for the parking spaces for the hospital and the emergency vehicles. So I feel slightly this point is infeasible.
Next question.
Hi guys, my question is for you, Chaitanya.
Can you be louder?
Yeah, there is one point on your manifesto that says that you keep Sitara open till 10 p.m., but it's already open till the 10 p.m.
So it's not just for Sitara, it's extension of timings across institutes. So of course Sitara is open till 10 p.m. We have volleyball court, basketball court, and apart from that we have squash courts which will all be open till 10 p.m. So it's like every facility open till 10 p.m. All volleyball and basketball courts are not open till 10 p.m.
Next question. Can Moves give clarification to that?
What was the question?
They're asking for clarification whether the basketball and volleyball courts are open till 10 p.m.
Like after 10 p.m.
No, they're not open till 10.
Okay.
Okay, next question.
Okay, my question is for both of you. So we'll be hosting Inter-IT this time after 8 long years. So I want you to mention 2 points which you felt you want to implement through your Inter-IT experiences this year, and 2 points which you felt were not good enough. So think about it. 2 points which you want to incorporate from your Inter-IT experiences here, and 2 points which you feel were not good enough and you want to provide it as a host. And yeah, just one more question is, how will you use home advantage this year ethically?
Who wants to go first?
From my experience of being an inter-IIT contingent member, I feel the hospitality that was given from the other IITs were really good, and I will ensure that that is given from our side also. From the bad thing, I have noticed that the gala night happens right before the morning event, which is like on the next day. So a lot of people who has morning events doesn't take part in the gala night, and this I would like to make sure that that doesn't happen and schedule accordingly. As far as the home, I'll try to make sure, I'll try to accommodate all the events that are being conducted, because a lot of previous intra-IITs happened in places where it is heavy, harsh winter season. Here we don't have the problem, so we'll have more time during the day, and we can have enough time in the evening also. This will accommodate the events that should be in the morning slot of the next day of the gala night. As far as the home advantage is concerned, home advantage will be a good thing for all the athletes that are participating here. The athletes will feel very comfortable and will be confident also. But then I will make sure that we don't use it in an unethical way, and we'll have proper referees and umpires.
One of the good things, as she mentioned, is of course hospitality. Other than that, I feel the way they put POCs across every IIT like efficiently, like having enough manpower so that everything is done in place, is a very good point that I'll make sure happens either through students or through outsourcing. And coming to that, I'll also be outsourcing some of the major things that other IITs have been doing, for example, media and all, so that it happens efficiently, since we have enough budget for that. Problems, for example, transportation often becomes a problem during inter-IT, that people have to travel a lot for their matches and stuff. So I'll make sure that that is catered to by renting out bicycles or e-carts, etc. And the rules are in place right from the start to avoid conflicts. Talking about the advantage, of course the athletes have an advantage. Apart from that, I'll also make sure that GSB is well aware of all the schedules so that they get enough chairing, because for IIT Madras, anti-chairing is the major drawback every year. So this year, that should be our advantage, which is pretty ethical.
You have a follow-up. Anyone has question? Okay. Siri then. Siri.
My question is to Chaitanya. I see this point on your manifesto which talks about talent track. So basically you're talking about some parameters which basically measure the talent of an athlete. So okay, it's specific to athletics and aquatics. Maybe you can measure the timings of an athlete and you can tell if they have improved or not. But if you see a sport like volleyball or squash or tennis, I don't think it's feasible that you estimate few things on based on parameters. And also this talent track, you're telling it's an annual talent track. Say that I'm graduating in next year. Do you think keeping track of my talent is or my improvement is feasible, or is it really useful?
Okay, talking about sports other than athletics and aquatics, we do have, the captains do have the ability to judge the skill which might be useful in the next year and how well it can be sharpened, and the general athletic fitness which the people have, to make sure that if they can be trained within 1 year, to make sure that they go to inter-IT. Talking about tracking the last year people, so it's like giving opportunity at every year of your life. For example, you might be busy for the first 2-3 years, but you might be good enough, and you might be good enough to be in the team in your final year. We won't be keeping your database in the final year that how good you are, or be calling you the next year, but still you have an opportunity even in your final year to participate, even if you were not part of the sphere for 3 years or 4 years.
My question is for Prabhanjana. You mentioned about a website regarding all 23 IITs, and you also mentioned that you will keep a record of all the previous records and matches and everything. But as you are well aware that even I broke inter-IIT record last year, but they didn't give me a new meet record certificate, claiming that we don't have records from the previous IITs. So how will you collect the data for the site? I mean, it is a very tough task since it is not maintained by previous IITs for a very long time.
I would like to make sure that we start right now so that we will have data in the upcoming years.
You mentioned in your manifesto you will maintain previous records also.
I'll try my best to recover all the records. If not, I will make sure that we'll have proper documentation from this year.
Next question.
Yeah, Wes.
Can I go ahead? Next question.
Can we come to him?
Tell him that we'll take two last questions.
We'll take 2 more questions. We'll come to you.
So both of you are focusing on increasing the participation of PG students. That is very good. My simple question is, what were the initiatives that were taken last year and what were the events in which PGs have participated? This is one thing. And why PGs are actually important? Why you guys are focusing on PG, except for getting votes?
This is to both. Yeah. Who wants to go?
They take part in PG League and in inter-department leagues. Focusing on PG students will have, since their course is longer and they stay in institute for a longer year, having them in the team will support the juniors who are learning and make sure the team is very strong and will have proper guidance from seniors. And a lot of PG seniors have already been part of a lot of sporting teams across their UG and during their school. So this will also help them transfer the knowledge to the undergraduate students here.
Talking about initiatives, one of the great initiatives by you was the PG League. After that, we have PG Spotify for the freshers, following which the PG did participate in the IDL, and after that, they were also part of Schroeter and Dean's Cup. Talking about why PG people are important, they have been, they are much more mature than us. So, in team games, being aggressive and at the same time maturity is very important. So they play a very, very important role in our teams. They are physically more, built up than us and they can perform well. And of course, since PhD people specifically will be staying here for like 4 or 5 years, the sustainability of our teams will be maintained. And as far as PG people are concerned, for them also, being part of the sports is very, very important, I feel, because of the hectic schedules that they have, being in the lab every day, sedentary lifestyle that they lead to.
One last question from Spearhead side.
Okay, so yeah, similar, talking about home advantage again, we have an opportunity to edit the rule book before anyone else. So one thing that I've observed is the size of athletics and weightlifting contingent is variable and there is always issues regarding, whom to take extra. So this year also, unfortunately, I think one athletics person, you both from athletics, so was dropped at the end. So do you have any plans to, address this issue? And the other part of the question, second part is, I don't know whether a lot of people can resonate with this, but as an ex-ISS, I understand how important it is to, align every member of the contingent, especially the captains, into one goal, that is winning the GC, that is putting the contingent first. And I see 2 people from the same team who are unable to resolve personal differences and contesting for this position. So how would you actually, change these characteristics and be the person who is selfless and takes decisions for the contingent? First part is the sizes of athletics and weightlifting teams are variable, but the overall contingent size is fixed. But as a hosting IIT, you have the initial advantage of editing the rule book. So what do you plan to do regarding this? Because always KGP and a lot of other North Indian IITs have a lot of athletics contingent size and we have the least. So, first part and second part, I think you would have understood.
Okay, who wants to go first?
So in many of the other teams, we have a lot of substitutes. So, of course, increasing the contingent size can be one of the changes that we can introduce. But even if that is not done, I feel there are a lot of teams where few substitutes here and there can be reduced. And if we increase the players for particular sports in athletics or athletics this time, because aquatics is of course separate, it will be really helpful because anyways, aquatics men's team has double the points. And being the individual participation really matters. For example, in sports where there are 5 playing and then 7 substitutes, of course, 7 substitutes are important, but maybe if we take 5 or 6 also, it works. But here, adding one more player might add like 2 or 3 medals as well. And your second part was our personal differences. We don't have any personal differences. We both are thinking for the sphere, and we both are here to serve the sphere. So I think we both are pretty selfless in doing that.
Increasing the number of size of the contingent is a considering point. But I would deny the accusation that I am selfless, because during my second year I was injured, and yet I made sure that another person takes part in the contingent rather than to be part, because I was able to manage the race, but I would not be able to give my best if I was a part of the contingent. So I made sure reserve person went in place of me. So I think I would like to deny the accusation.
No. Time.
Your point, make sure that you guys bring in more multi-sport athletes, especially the aquatics point. The aquatics point is a good point, so make sure more aquatics people get into other sports, especially I think women's sports you can get into a lot of, during Gandhinagar, Dakshita did both athletics and volleyball, so that would actually, and that is what Roorkee and Kharagpur are doing. So there are so many people who play athletics as well as cricket. So find out these talents and think in these terms, and I think that's very important for us to bring back these.
Always you have 10 minutes to ask questions.
Yeah, you can start.
Regarding the point PG orientation and Spotify, exclusive Spotify. So I think this is a thing which currently we are doing from last couple of years. So why at this point is there in a manifesto? And I can't see any visibility from the PG representative visibility.
So I talked to a lot of PG people, and I found that a lot of PG people doesn't know that these things are happening. So there is lack of information that is being passed. And for the PG orientation, the PG people are taken in two different times, during summer and winter. Since all the orientation is conducted by our teams only in the start of the academic year, there is no much representation from the sports organizing team or whoever from the sports are taking part in the orientation that is happening at for the PGs. So I'll make sure that when there is an immersion from the PG side, we will have a sports orientation from our side too.
Clarification.
Prabhanjana, sorry to say on this, because this time we conducted the PG and UG immersion both, and both of them, the parameters were very similar. We had a lot of POCs, a lot of participants from the PG side to organize it, but unfortunately, most of the PG people, they didn't found interest to come and participate into those events. So we did try from our side to do that, but the problem is something else.
Okay, next question.
Yeah, then how you'll tackle the problems? Like say this year, if you're not able to find enough number of people to participate in PG orientation, next year what exactly you're doing to increase the participation from PG?
I would like to get to know more about what all happened and figure out what the real problem is, and then address it.
Okay, fair. And my next question is for Chaitanya. Regarding the point called the sports merchandise. So as you know that this inter-IT merchandise is something which is very like what to say, memorable thing for the athlete. And if you are planning to give it for the all GSB, how you make sure that there is a differentiation between the inter-IT contingent and the normal student body?
So what Inter-IT contingent has is jerseys, and what I'm planning to get is merchandise. Taking a similar example from Sarang Shastra, where the team t-shirts are separate and the merchandise which is released to the GSB is separate. This idea is also taken from IIT Bombay, where when they were hosting, there were a lot of GSB members who had Inter-IT merchandise and not the jersey. So I'll make sure that the exclusivity of the jersey is maintained, while at the same time, the rich culture reaches our GSB as well.
Okay. Then my next question is for Prabhanjana. So in your manifesto, I can see a lot of initiatives regarding Sports Fest, NSO Plus, her hurdle, PG orientation. A lot of manifestos are there. So in this year, we will be organizing Inter-IT meet, which will be on the topmost priority. So I will make sure that all your manifesto initiatives will be executed.
So I am planning to restructure the sports organizing committee in such a way where I am trying to bring back the conveners who will take care of all the events that is related to the GSB. The team captains will make sure their teams are prepared enough to face the intra-IT. And then I have a separate team that will work for hosting the intra-IT. So all these teams will make sure that each of their roles is responsibility is taken care of.
So the point you're talking that you will bring back the conveners. So conveners we have we changed last year of conveners to vice captain because the conveners were not active in the sporting sphere. That's why we changed to vice captain. So again, if you are planning to include conveners, how you make sure that they are active? And last year also we tried to recruit some conveners, but there are not people who are willing to apply for the convener post.
Conveners can be found from the general student body who are interested to play the sport, and that is alone enough for them to be a convener. So that can be made sure. But then when the vice captains were introduced, I was the vice captain, and I did not have a proper set of rules or roles and responsibilities, and there was no proper demarcation. That might be a problem. So I'll make sure that there is enough demarcation for all the roles and responsibilities.
Okay. So my next question is for both of you. Can you just tell me about the timeline for the next year? All the events was there in your manifesto, timeline, budget, and everything. What event you will prioritize more? Because next year we have to focus more on inter-IT, and rest of the events we have to not consider as a topmost priority. And right now we are not aware also that Sports Fest will happen this year because we will be hosting inter-IT. So we have to put some events on hold.
Who wants to go first?
Initiative points and the timeline when you're planning to organize it.
So we'll be starting our tenure with team selections, which is pretty huge this time. And in summer, we'll be having the PG League, as we had last year, as initiated last year. followed by immersions starting from July second week when the PG freshers come in, and then the UG freshers would be coming in. Then the NSO orientation. I would try that the sports fest still happens because I'm trying to keep the SOC and Inter-IT organizing committee separate so that none of the events get affected. Just after sports fest, we can just pull in a bit earlier if possible. After that, we'll be having the aquatics meet, Inter-IT aquatics meet, followed by a similar mini camp, main camp, and then the main meet. Then we come to the even semester, where we'll be having the annual departmental league, followed by Schroeter and Deans. In even semester itself, in between these Schroeter Deans, I'll be planning the beginner buddy program that I have initiated. And Fitness Friday will be a bi-weekly thing throughout the year.
I see that next year it's going to be a sporting year because there are a lot of events are coming up. From PG League, we'll have orientations, and then since Racathlon and Mini Schroeter that I'm proposing are very GSB oriented, it will be taken care by SOC. It will happen side by side when we will have our mini camp, and then Sports Fest, main camp, and then Intra-IT. I'll also make sure that her hurdles goes well during the throughout the year. In the event semester, there will be Ideal, Schroeter's, Dean's Trophy, JFKR, and Jimmy George, and the Gymkhana Day.
We'll take one last question from current ISS.
Hello. Yeah. Prabanjana, I can't see any budget in your feasibility report. Can you tell me, like, is it there or?
My budget was prepared very early before the deadline, but then I think the submission of the feasibility report that I submitted doesn't have the version that I submitted doesn't have that link. But right now I have it in my hand, and if you have any specific questions, I can answer those.
Yeah, sure. Just give me. So from where this insurance money is coming from?
It is from the institute budget.
Institute budget, like you're planning to institute budget is something which every year come from the MHRD. So you're planning to propose it in the meeting or?
Yes.
And what are the criteria to get insured through the insurance budget?
For an Intra-IT contingent member, the budget is coming from the institute budget. For a GSB, it will be paid by them. The criteria to
so
get
GSB already we have a 1 lakh budget. Everyone from.
Yeah, but it is very focused for the sporting injuries, and if they need more than 1 lakh for their surgery, they can claim it. They can take that opportunity to use that insurance.
Okay, so let's say I played Inter-IT in my first year, and in my third year I fell on my cycle and tore my ACL here. So will I be able to get insured to the Gymkhana budget?
She said sporting injury. He's asking if he was in the Inter-IT contingent in his first year.
In 1 year, in the first year he's an Inter-IT contingent, and in third year
An injury that is faced while playing for the team, for the IIT Madras, is taken care from the institute budget. And if it is a normal sporting injury that we are
playing in the team in the sense like in Inter-IT or in normal local tournaments,
whichever tournament, whichever meet that is played for in the name of IIT Madras, representing IIT Madras.
Okay, fine.
Okay, now we'll go on with audience question. Meenakshi. Is there any more question, Oais?
No, I'm good.
Okay, now we'll move on with audience question.
Any more questions from your side? Okay, so we received around 11 questions. 10 out of 11 questions was to Prabhanjana, and most of them was raised by either by the candidate, the heads or ISS himself. So I'll just ask 2 questions I felt was not raised. So moderator, just let me know if it was raised. So because this was regarding physiotherapy, okay? I'll read it verbatim. This service is already there in the hospital. Could you please tell me about the facility, equipments present over there, and what exactly difference will you bring by opening one more physiotherapy center? Because we could see there is no equipments, machine list, and budget mentioned by you.
Specifically, sports physiotherapists don't really need machines, even though they use it as an additional thing. It is mostly based on working on the muscle directly. So having a sports specific physiotherapist at the place of the sporting arena would be necessary for nursing the needs of the players.
So in my tenure recently, 2 days back, we have just made a tender, including the Institute Hospital, where we are proposing physiotherapists. So that is going to be concluded within the ending of this tenure. So maybe next 10-15 days, you'll get the physiotherapists inside the hospital. Yeah. They are like, tender is being passed. We just finalized the tender.
Ask him to repeat.
Ovis, can you come again?
Yeah, just a clarification. This physiotherapist is already approved from the meeting, and they already have a specific room in the new Sitara Sports Complex.
Yeah, one more question is there which is not answered, I guess. Just let me know. Again, question to Prabhanjana. What all days in a week are you planning to do aqua therapy, and how will you include all contingent budget source? Yeah, this is the last question. The rest are, it's already answered? All right. So there are no more questions, it's already answered. No, nothing towards yeah.
Speaker, do you want to ask questions? Okay, any more questions? Do anyone want to ask? Last chance. Okay, then okay, with this, we formally end the Soapbox. I wish all the candidates a very best of luck. And yeah, this is the 3rd election in a row, so common votes will be there. There won't be any hostel booths, so please come and vote. And I thank all the EC members who are able to attend the meeting, and OAS to join remotely. And yeah, thank you everyone. Yeah. Polling days on 6th April, so don't forget Sunday, so don't sleep. Come vote and then sleep.